Hey guys, I just want to start this off by saying thank you for all the positive feedback that I got on my last video. It was super cool hearing all your stories about how you met Drew and funny stories about him, and just all the cool comments, and people telling me that it motivated them to say things they otherwise wouldn't have said. That's super cool, and that was really the whole point. So thank you guys for that. Having said that, I kind of just want to jump into this one. This one is going to be, and if you don't get the gist of what I'm trying to do here with these flower battles, you can watch the first video. I explain everything pretty thoroughly. But this one's going to be versus my cousin Eric. That's Eric with a K. Also goes by Big E, Big Easy, E. Call him any of the above, but Eric's his name. So I don't have a cool meeting story about, Eric because he's a year or so older than me. And, from the time my memory starts, he was there. So, unfortunately, I don't have a funny story about how we met, but I do have a couple other cool things that I'll share with you. Just so you get an idea of like the kind of person we're talking about and the kind of individual he is. Clear memory I have is when we were children, and we would watch TV a lot. And if you remember, they had those commercials like feed a kid for 10 cents a day, bowl of rice, whatever, and it would always be in a real desolate area with 10-pound 8-year-olds and things like that. And I remember Eric, because if you remember, it would always give you like a warning before it started. I remember Eric would leave the room because he couldn't watch it, like it would affect him too much. And the few times that like it snuck him and he did see it, like it would fuck him up. And it was like, thinking back on it now, like it made him like such a special person. Like the dude was like an emotional sponge. And you don't really realize it back then, like how special someone is in that regard. But that's just kind of one example of the person he is. And when we were children, going to my grandmother's was like a weekend thing. It wasn't even a question. We were doing it, you know what I mean? Like it was just every Saturday we're going. And as soon as we get there, my mother would start, chatting with her sisters, things like that, and they would leave us kids, the cousins, to play. And that's when Eric and I would, go about playing and things like that. And we just always kind of stuck together. But we'd always start plotting the sleepovers around then. It was always sleepovers. And, 90% of the time, my mom would agree, his mom would agree, things like that. And now thinking back on it, it put Eric in like a weird, awkward position because there's five of us. And, we're all 2 years apart. My oldest brother, Rick, Dusty's 2 years under him, and then right under him, 2 years is me. And there's Easy like right in the mix of all of it age wise, and so he kind of had to pick who he was gonna like play with or be closest with that weekend. And some weekends, and he doesn't know that I felt this way whatsoever, but like the weekends where he would favor Dust or Rick over me and things like that, like I remember feeling like super jealous and like, what, dude? Like that's my cousin. Like get a, but we're all family. And he's as much a brother as my other brothers, and I'm pretty sure that they would both say the same. So fast forwarding to about when we were about 15, 16. I know it's quite a jump, but we really didn't see each other. I was now out in Lakewood, and he was like he was heavy into church, so he had that thing going. And I was doing my own thing out here, and we didn't have to go to grandma's every weekend, so we didn't see each other as often as I would like. But one thing I do remember is that when we did see each other, he would always like just radiate like love, and like I remember feeling it. And he would always have something to like show me, like something new that I wasn't like, because he knew right then we were both loving 90s hip hop, right in the mix of it. He would give me these mixtapes that I couldn't get my hands on, being from Lakewood. We didn't have the stuff they had out there where he was at. So he would give them to me. I would bring them back here and spread them all around. So everybody in Lakewood that had those early Green Lantern mixtapes and Clue mixtapes, you can thank Eric for that. Um, and that's how it went for several years. It just was like that. We would see each other all out every time, but he did his thing, I kind of did mine. And then, be about 18, 19, Eric stepped away from the church. And I could be messing up the timeline, I don't know. But he stepped away from the church, and that's not to say like he denounced our religion, because he didn't, but he just kind of chilled out on it. And that's kind of the time that I think of, is like we kind of got our Eric back. And he kind of loosened up a little bit on things that he wasn't doing, because he was in the church, just partying. And the next few years were just like crazy. It was like the best freaking time of my life. Like I could sit here for hours and just tell you like one little memory of us just like talking, and it's just a freaking great memory. And I had a pretty big group of friends growing up, and like when we got in our 20s, things like that, we were all still pretty close. And whenever I would bring Eric around, everybody loved him. He'd be the life of the party. Oh, bring easy, bring easy. And the guy's annoying, but yeah, they all loved him. The dude would give you the shirt off his back, um, and it's crazy. And my mom loved him like she was his own son, her own son. Like, it was just crazy. I remember when she passed, like, there were a few different speakers at her funeral or at her wake. And you know her having 5 kids. I don't remember. I know I couldn't speak. I could barely even like stay there. But Eric gave one of the most beautiful, like heartfelt. Like, I remember I was shaking when he was saying the words he was saying about my mom. And it it was, I just, I'll never forget it. And it was just something special to me. And I know it was special to her as well. And nobody could have said it the way he did. And I know he struggled to get through it. And but it's just the type of dude he is, man. He's just the man. And then, so backing up just a little bit, he had entered the police academy. I don't know, when maybe we were like 20, was it then, or mid 20s or something like that. And Eric's always been a big dude, and there were a lot of people who doubted that he could make the police academy, and that he had the physicality to do it and things like that. And not only did he do it, he smoked the test. He has been on the job for 14 years now. He has gotten promotions. I don't even know what his official thing is now, but you can look it up. He does so much community work. He does so much, and that I don't even know about. I'll be just scrolling some shit, and I'll see my cousin on Facebook with some kids, like, and that's just, I don't know. That's just the type of dude Easy is. And they don't make him like him. And Eric, if you see this, I love you to death. You know that our combos are like nobody else's. You make me laugh more than I ever thought anybody could ever make anybody laugh. You're my best laughing partner. I have a few. They all know who they are, but none of them compete with you. And I wouldn't wish for another cousin or brother like you, because I know that there's not another Eric in the world. So love you, bro, and have a great night. Bye.